In what ways did your media product use, develop, or challenge forms and conventions of real media products? For my front cover of my music magazine, Riff, I have used many conventions found in other music magazines such as NME and Kerrang! Perhaps the most conventional piece for my magazine is the masthead, in which I have placed at the top third of the page. This follows many conventions set by the magazine industry. However, I have tried to challenge this by not spacing the masthead across the whole space. Instead, I have kept the lettering tightened to one side, similar to NME, a magazine I have analysed before making this magazine. Another convention used within my magazine is a skyline or a banner. I decided to use this as it is a common convention of magazines, and I felt it was a good way to advertise extra content within the magazine. I tried to challenge conventions slightly by removing the circle shape commonly found within a boost. By doing this, I felt it gave the magazine an indie twist that complements the genre of my magazine. Also, on my front cover, I decided to develop the cover line and strap lines to the side of the image instead of straight across. By doing this, I felt it gave the magazine an unconventional twist. However, the audience would still make sense of the layout. My magazine is used a black and white medium shot, a convention often used on the front cover. However, I changed the saturation to black and white to create an indie twist to the magazine and to enhance the mise-en-scène of the tattoos and the guitar. I also decided to create a house style of black, red and white, which are conventions of rock music. However, I felt the white could help portray an indie feel without overpowering the other colours. Black is a common colour in music magazines of the rock and indie genre, shown through my textual analysis. I decided to keep the font simple in a sans serif font to show the magazine has a modern feel similar to the audience. I have used the fonts Headline and Arial. I use Headline on the cover line only to show that that's the main focus of the magazine, and Arial to show extra information within the magazine, to show that although they are important, the main emphasis is on the cover line. The structural layout of this front cover fits the general conventions of a music magazine, as I have images, subheadings, strap lines, boosts and barcodes. However, I have tried to challenge conventions by setting them out in a unique way. I have pulled all the extra stories on the right third of the page to leave the main focus of the page on my cover lines. I also have not used any images to support these ideas, unlike magazines such as Kerrang and Rock Sound, as I felt that this would make my page look too busy. In my contents page, I have tried to follow general conventions of a music magazine's content page, as I felt that it was important for my audience to understand the content of the magazine. Perhaps the most common convention used on this page is the subscription box. This is widely used by magazines in the music industry to encourage sales. I've used this on my page as I felt it fitted the genre of my magazine, as all three magazines used in my textual analysis use this too. This also encourages the reader to buy the subscription due to the vast array of content shown on the page. I use common conventions of a title at the top of the page and many forms of navigation to direct the reader through the magazine. I felt it was right to use the same fonts as the front cover to maintain the house style. I've used the headline on the title in this issue to show that this is the purpose of the page. I've kept the title simplistic, similar to NME's in this week, to make it clear to the reader. I've also added the magazine and website and date to the issue number of March 2013, and to advertise the website if the audience want to go online. However, I have kept it small so the reader is not bombarded. I've used columns similar to Rock Sound, a magazine I analysed previously, to show the contents of the magazine. I split this into three different things with subheadings: features, regulars and first look, to show that what content is regular and what are the exclusives within the issue. The titles are bold red in font to stand out upon the black background. This red font is also used on the subheadings of each feature to show an overview of the content, with the white text below explaining in more detail of what the feature is about. This is a common convention of my music magazines, as I found this is used in all of my magazines I analysed before I made the magazine. I also have kept the text to the top half of the page, which is not regularly used on a contents page, making it challenge conventions. However, I felt by doing this it allowed me to include other pictures on the bottom half to attract the reader's attention and further navigate them. Navigation is a common convention used in music magazines, and so I chose multiple means of navigation through page numbers, images and subheadings to show the reader both the content of the magazine and where within the magazine they are situated. In my double page spread, I have tried to use common conventions such as a headline, "Are you ready for me yet?" to introduce my piece. With this enigmatic title, I have tried to create a title that carries little or no pragmatics or connotations to give away the theme of the article, meaning that my audience must read it to find out. This heading again is in the same font as the cover line on the front cover to show that the two stories are the same, again aiding navigation. The text on this page is red and white following my house style. I've used a traditional font of Arial and size 12 in my body text, which is a convention used by magazines. The body text is in white, which contrasts the dark background. This is used so it both complements the rest of the magazine and to show the difference between the questions which are in red and the answers in white. I've also used a pull quote in red to stand out on the top of a black and white image, used to give the reader a further insight. This is a convention widely used through music magazines, which I've discovered during my textual analysis. My image used in my double page spread also complements the image on the cover, showing a strong link for the reader. The image is again in black and white, aiding the emphasis on the mise en scène, the guitar, hair, tattoos and gloves, which also allows the pull quote to stand out. Black and white images are not often used, as in my textual analysis only one magazine used a black and white image, allowing me to challenge conventions. In the top corner of the image I've used a kicker of Scott Washington to show the reader who he is if they don't know, and to again aid navigation for the reader. Similarly to my contents page, I've referenced the page number and website in the bottom left third corner to help navigate and also to catch the reader's attention when they are near the bottom of the article to encourage them to go online. This convention is widely used throughout music magazines.